Hello, people. So, this type of content that, you film when you're just chilling at your house, like podcast ish, is not something that I thought I would do, but I wanted to take a little time to explain kind of like my writing process and upload it on YouTube. Not really much produced and edited to its finest perfection, but I really just wanted to have like a chit chat while I smoked my cigarette and before I go to fucking therapy. So, yeah. I feel like my writing process has always kind of like varied. I have a lot of moments and instances where I could change it up because I feel that I'm going to drag more inspiration and more creativity in another way that I normally would. So I don't have like a set guideline of how I write. Um, so mostly like I take my hyperactivity, which I have due to my ADHD, and put it into good use. If you cannot fight it, go with it, So I have this ADHD that makes me kind of like be hyperactive and hyper creative at night. I cannot sleep, so normally what I do is just, whenever everybody is asleep, and the house is quiet, that's when I have my biggest inspirations. Or, I'm a very polar person, so I can go from two polar opposites and still kind of like prove a point. I'm a very extreme person, so like if I don't do something, I do it 100%. So if it's like not pure quietness, I have inspiration from like pure like loudness. Like I might be in a club and I might see like a scenery and I'm be like, okay, I'm gonna write about this right now. Because when I have to do something, I have to do it immediately. Like I'm a person that like, I don't know, feels stimulated to do things. Might be very impulsive of me, but that's what gets me to write good things. Or, I might just be like chilling and sitting with my emotions. I feel like there's two sides. So there's like emotive writing or experimental writing. Like whatever I experience, I write about it, or whatever I feel, I write about it. There's also kind of like this other side of me where I try to like get into different emotions that a person might be feeling. So, for example, I hear a story and I write about kind of like the perspective of a story, or I create a situation and kind of put me in a place of mind where I have to feel an emotion to be able to write about it. So, for example, I can just fuck up my day and say, okay, for this amount of time while I write this song, I'm gonna try to feel angry towards, I don't know, a fake scenario where a guy cheated on me. So I'm going to write about it in that perspective. It's kind of very much similar to method acting, where you continue to stay in that space of mind and you enter fully into a situation. And that's what gets me to write good stuff. And mostly I do that. Kind of destructive of me to do that, but I don't know. I like to see a lot of things from different like points of view, right? So that's like what kind of gets me into the writing, right? When I write, here we go to the second point, is very much, I'm a very like rhyme and orientated person. For me, it's very hard to write things that don't really rhyme because I don't know, the cadence of it is not so fluid in my opinion, and I like to stay low key, not safe, but I like to do things that work. And in my opinion, whatever I have done in the past, which I like, works for me, so I stick to what works. Um, so yeah, I tend to go for rhymes. And how do I get these rhymes? Well, I'm a person that does tend to look for the internet and search like rhymes for certain words, or for example, I might hear endings of existent songs, or or I might be watching a movie or listening to a conversation, and I might be like, okay, this word rhymes with this word, or the ending of a verse, or of a line specifically. If I like few words that rhyme in an existent song, I might take these two ending words, and create kind of like my own version of what could be before those ending words. Yeah, basically what I connect with and what I want to write about, that's what I write about, you know. I might say that, for me, structure is very important. I tend to go for rhyming schemes, or I don't know, very simple poetic structures that have worked in the past, and especially like the types of structures that you would hear in like popular 80s music. That's my type of writing. And based off inspiration, I would say that I like tapping into the voice or the tone of an existent artist. Mostly because I haven't found my voice and my style yet. I am a person that takes a lot of different inspirations from everything as well in my personal life. I don't think I have like my own personality. I'm like a collection of every single media I consume, right? So I might be like watching a movie and I see a guy smoking or a girl smoking in the movie, and the way they smoke is how I smoke for a few days after I watch that movie. People might say I don't have a personality. I say whatever, it's not me copying them, it's me literally being influenced by media. And that's the same thing that happens to me when I write music. I'm influenced because I love music and I love movies, and I like everything that's semi-artistic in a way that's very expressive. So for me, I like, taking inspiration from them. And especially, I feel that inspiration is the biggest form of flattery. Copying is, although, something that I really don't agree with. There's a few artists currently that I know, and this is like no way shaming people's artistry. But for me, like currently, there's a lot of artists who try to sound like others, like completely like a copy, right? And for me, those people who do actually make it, living off of other people's ideas, for me is really not good, really not ethic, right? Because culturally, society has like evolved to always try to mimic like maybe higher class, or mimic, I don't know, an aesthetic, right? So I feel like that is a natural process, but stealing is something that I have never really liked or appreciated. Kind of like, in general, like, like if you're gonna publish something, for me, it's very important that it's like true to who you are, right? So if you try to make like, I don't know, a Dua Lipa sounding record like I did with my song Starstruck, or a few songs that I have written currently that are not out yet, I feel like if it's gonna sound like a type of record, it has to be according to your brand and what you want to do, and it has to be true to you. Like if it's not your brand, and if you're trying to make something because it's going to be lucrative, I don't feel like it should be done. Maybe as an exercise that I do sometimes, where I can take, like, for example, I don't know, really popular, really like successful musician sounding songs, right? So for example, I might say, and I hate Taylor Swift, but she's successful, right? So I might say, okay, I'm gonna put myself into a space where I'm writing like same style like Taylor Swift, or same style as Dua Lipa, same style as Miley Cyrus, same style as Lana Del Rey, right? And I try out different things, right? Because that is what's going to make me grow, and I learn from it, and I study music, right? But for my own publishing, I wouldn't ever say like, okay, I'm going to write things that are not mine and that are completely other people's. It's not good. And creating a brand by faking something or by copying is not, for me, ethical. Okay, so that was a little commentary that I wanted to make. I would say like my current experience with songwriting has been very, very successful. I've been really, really, really into the grind. I would say like consistency wise, I have been really good too. I struggle with consistency a lot, and whoever you want to ask, my family or I don't know, my friends, they know that whenever I pick something up, because I don't know, like hyper fixating due to my ADHD, like I might say, oh, I'm a reader 100%. Like, I was reading a book a day for like, I don't know, a month, right? A month or two. And I said, oh, this is going to be a lifelong passion of mine, and I'm going to keep on reading every day and everything. And I didn't end up doing that, right? I quit reading, which sucks. Like every single sport that I did in my life, like I picked up sports, like, I don't know, fucking perverts in the streets picks up girls. Like, it's very sad. But writing has been something that I have kept consistent for many years. I started writing at 13. Although like the frequency of the writing is very varied, I have been keeping up with writing, right? So I feel like that is just a great accomplishment that I have done, and I'm very proud of it. Now, when it comes to like other sorts of writing, I have been extremely into poetry right now, poetry writing and spoken poetry. I love it, and it's actually like one of the sources of boosting of creativity that I've been experiencing, right, in my writing. I feel like the more deep I go into the metaphors or like meanings behind sentences that I think of, I feel that I'm so much more comfortable with writing whatever I want to, right? Because there's always a moment in time where a writer feels blocked from expressing themselves fully. And sometimes, although that people do tend to like maybe write things that are not so true to what they're experiencing, it really enables a whole new world of possibilities and a whole better flow of ideas and emotions when you're writing. If you do end up kind of deepening into your heart, soul, and mind, if you do that. And I have experienced that. I have a better flow of words, of expressing myself, and that is really good. I feel like I should say this because I'm very proud of myself. I have written about 25 full, almost final draft songs in like 3 to 4 months. And that is insane. I used to be like the type of person who couldn't write like if they weren't feeling sad or something. But like I feel like right now, as a much more sane person than I was before, I only write whenever I feel that I'm clear-headed, right? So if I'm clouded by emotions, like when I was depressed, especially after my breakup, I was like trying to write the best heartbreak song. Like I just needed to write like a breakup song, a breakup anthem, and I just tried to force something that for me it was so impossible because I just didn't have the mental clarity to even express what I was feeling, right? So I feel that for me it was so important to digest what I was feeling first to be able to write what I was feeling. So I did that. I digested the situation. I got out of depression and I started writing because I knew what I was feeling, right? When somebody is angry or if someone is sad, they don't quite know what they're feeling because they're quick at pointing fingers and dissing everybody who is around. So I feel like that is just a way to kind of like not be concrete. And for me, it was blocking my creativity. I wanted to talk about blockness, like writer's block. Writer's block is like a fear of mine. I don't really express that fear, but I'm very frustrated with myself when I have writer's block. I've learned to kind of accept when I cannot write for maybe a week or 2 weeks or maybe a month, right? So I fell into like a toxic headspace that it was that, as I pick up hobbies quickly, or in general anything, I pick shit up quickly, and the same quickness of the rise is the same quickness of the fall. I feel that whenever I don't do writing, that it's over for me, that it's done, that it was just like a phase that I had, that it's like all the other hobbies that I've had in my life where I picked up and left, and that I'm a phony or I'm a poser because I lack consistency and professionalism, as you might call it. So yeah, that's very scary because every time I get into that, I feel like I'm done. My creativity is over. The one thing that I relied my future career on is out the window, and I'm gonna be sad for the rest of my life because I didn't even start to do the projects that I feel that I wanted to do, and those are the projects that are gonna complete me. And whenever I do feel like writer's block, I feel sad. So I think I like overcame that a lot by proving to myself that I don't need to always write. Because I was actually talking to another artist last night, and I said this little quote that came out of me very naturally, that it was, whenever you can't do something or you're unable to do something, do exactly the opposite, because getting too comfortable with comfortability is dangerous, but getting too uncomfortable with comfortability is even more. What I'm trying to say is that if you're too comfortable with the idea that you have written consistently for, I don't know, if you have a good run, for example, you write maybe 5 songs a week, you feel like, oh shit, okay, I got it, right? So next week is going to be the same story again, and I'm going to rely on having 5 songs a week, or at least have 4 songs ready, right? So when you feel like that, it's kind of taken away kind of like the I'm on my feet always and I'm trying to put effort in, because whenever you're comfortable, you don't put effort in. It's like when people slack off in relationships because they got comfortable, and therefore they don't have to put as much effort in as they did whenever they're trying to court someone. So for me, that is like getting too comfortable, and it will then become uncomfortable, because as everything is working for you, you don't try to find more ways or more, yeah, or in general, challenge yourself. So I feel like that is more dangerous than getting uh, comfortable with the uncomfortability, which is like you don't feel good, so then you don't write, and you're uncomfortable, so therefore you're comfortable by being uncomfortable, where it's like you don't do anything. So I don't know, it's my ADHD is not really explaining itself properly, but yeah, I feel like that is important to know. If you get what I'm saying somehow, you know what I mean. So I feel like for the future, I don't tend to talk about the future online or in general to my friends. I talk a lot about the future with my family. Somehow I'm very content with what I have, and I have certain objectives that I want to do. I feel like, I don't know, my delusions of, I don't know, what I really want to achieve is very much, I don't know. I feel like I have so much to offer, right? And I hope I can get to do those things that I want to, you know, do. I don't know, like mostly when people ask me like, hey, like, you know, if I don't want to get into a deep conversation always, most of the times I do, right? But when I like talk with people and they tell me, oh, this song is so good, you're going to become famous. And I'm going to be like, yeah, no, I will, or, you know, manifesting it somehow. But I really wanted to clarify the fact that like I recently have started to look at it very differently, whereas like my wish is to be able to have, let's just say, the opportunities. Of course, the opportunities arise when there is popularity amongst your songs or yourself, right? But I want to have the opportunities to kind of bring to term, like completely create an artistic vision for each and individual thing that I will post, right? For me, it's not about how many people listen to it. That yes, it does influence the ability of someone's artistic abilities, but for me, it's more about creating a full story, right? Literally throwing up everything that I have in my brain, because I'm a very artistic person. So I would love to create a film based on a song that I have, and have like a camera that is so well for that type of shot. I don't know, have this person that I know, or this actor that I feel like I've written the song for, in their headspace. Like I want to be able to do all these things. Outfits, like I want to be able to have like the outfit that specifically encaptures the outfit that I explain in the song, or the makeup, like inspiration from, I don't know, the 50s, and I want to have authentic makeup, therefore I want a professional, like those types of things that like for me are so essential when creating a storyline. It's just my end goal. Like my end goal is to have the opportunity to create everything that I want to create. I'm an artist, and I feel like there's some things that I need to do in my life, and that is one of them. If I get popular through it, then fucking great, you know? But my end goal is to be able to live happily knowing that I've completed something exactly the way that I imagined it. Yeah. And actually, I'm very happy with all of this, and I decided to do like this video because I finally realized what I was. I am not really like a singer. I am not really like, yes, I do sing, right? I do love movies. I do love performing and dancing and in spaces, right? And performing for an audience, right? I do love doing that. But above all, I am a writer because that's something, hobbies are something you do repetitively. And I have done that for about, since I was 13, 14 years old. So for me, it's just, I figured it out. I always tried to be so many things, which I kind of am. But being a writer is what I am because that's what I do. And for me, that clarity has become so important because it takes off a lot of the pressures to try to be somebody else or trying to do something that's not really like what your end goal is or what you want to do in your life. And I'm very happy. So I hope you did like this low-key like podcast-esque video. I enjoyed doing it. Yeah, I'm right now headed to therapy. I love you all. And yeah, stay tuned for my future projects. Right now, I am not quite producing anything. I have done and recorded demos, but I'm in a place where I don't know if I should go independent or wait for something I cannot talk about. But yeah, stay fucking tuned. Like, it's gonna take a little bit, but once it's gonna happen, once I get these songs out, by the way, I have like so many songs. They're gonna be like chef's kiss. I just hope that everything works out for me. I just really hope that it does. I'm a dreamer, and my biggest wish is for everything that I propose myself that I want in my life or what I want to do in my life happens. So yeah, bye guys.